Mr. Speaker, sir, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Leader of Opposition, Cabinet colleagues, fellow members of Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing me to deliver my statement in support of the 2020-2021 national budget. Let me commend the Honorable Minister for Economy for a very thoughtful, progressive, and bold budget designed to navigate these uncertain and challenging times. Thoughtful because it takes into account everyone's needs by not raising VAT, personal or corporate taxes, as some were predicting, by maintaining social wages, by not cutting civil service salaries, and by supporting those who are unemployed or underemployed. Progressive because the budget focuses on near and long-term job creation by financing public investments, providing stimuli to private sector and construction industry, and supporting ordinary Fijians through government initiatives. It is a bold budget because the service turnover tax is removed, ECAL slashed, the business license removed, the tariff restructured, and the closure of 5 overseas missions. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a well-planned budget for the broadest range of Fijian citizens and institutions, and the broadest range of needs in our nation. This budget is made for economic recovery because it restores business confidence, investor confidence, and consumer confidence. Both international and local institutions are predicting economic contraction, but none of them are able to forecast with certainty when our international travel and trade will be normalized, or what will be the depth and duration of this economic contraction. Against this backdrop, the Minister for Economy has delivered a budget that addresses not only our immediate needs over the next 12 months, but also carefully lays the foundation for years ahead by introducing various stimuli and incentives that are absolutely needed for the economic recovery. Mr. Speaker, sir, from the media and again, listening to the debate from the opposition members, I can only say that nothing will change the mentality, criticism at any opportunity. Considering that the crisis affects not only Fiji, but also the whole world, the government has realistically and comprehensively addressed issues across the board. However, the opposition is again playing with emotions of the people by giving them a false hope that they would have done better than us. Mr. Speaker, sir, when the budget was announced, many critics were in a shock at the level of innovation and outside-the-box thinking that gave us a budget that safeguards the welfare of every Fijian in these deeply trying times. Workers, children, men, women, businesses, civil servants, vendors, farmers, those who lost their jobs due to COVID-19 will reap some form of benefit and assistance as together we weather the COVID-19 storm. Mr. Speaker, sir, we could call it the people's budget that has restored hope after opposition and other critics had nothing better to say. Where our critics see only the dark clouds of the last few months, government offers a way for all Fijians to walk in the light. Where our critics peddle doom and gloom stuck in the present, government puts us on a road to a brighter future. We have seen, Mr. Speaker, sir, economies many times larger than Fiji have been torn apart because of this virus. Fiji is not immune. Mr. Speaker, sir, the allocations for my 2 ministries have been reduced, but that does not mean the services are not being provided. Our municipal council's budget, for example, were not designed for a pandemic of this magnitude, and we are doing everything we can to adapt and make sure that council services continue to function as best as possible. As a result, our municipal councils are short of the revenue they need to the tune of $18.4 million. Some of the revenue streams affected at this time are rates, garbage collection fees, toll fees, hiring of sports and events venue, property rentals, and parking meter fees. We should also note that a number of ratepayers have not been able to pay their rates on time for several years, and this is even before COVID-19 pandemic was declared. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite the impact on council revenue streams, our government has removed the need for business license to start a business. We know that businesses drive the economy, and today more than ever, we need to make it easy to start a business. The financial impacts of COVID-19 on cities and towns across the country and on our lives and livelihood is going to be serious and long-term. Mr. Speaker, sir, to better understand each ratepayer's ability to pay rates and for the councils to respond to those who are in legitimate distress, all councils will be completing rate profiling in the respective municipality. The results will assist the councils to come up with strategies to assist ratepayers where necessary. Mr. Speaker, sir, this year we saw the completion of 3 new markets, Namaka, Langere, and Reki Reki. All these markets provide hundreds of Fijians an opportunity to earn a living. Municipal councils have also decentralized their markets and opened up flea markets to assist people who have lost their jobs. Mr. Speaker, sir, the allocation of 2.545 million this year to support solid waste management continues. The government's commitment to improving this essential municipal council service will be achieved through regional partnership and shared services between councils. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry of Local Government is already working on a comprehensive reforms to bring the planning system into the 21st century. These reforms will create a simpler planning system and improve the capacity, capability, and performance of town and country planning to accelerate development. The review of the Town and Country Planning Act will be finalized. We will have a modern framework that guides scheme plans, building, subdivision, rezoning, and forward planning, giving greater certainty to current and future investment. To implement faster turnaround times and decision-making, the Ministry will focus on digitization by working with Ministry of Communication. The national budget is a time to realign expenditure to cater for new priorities and to discontinue expenditure in areas where assistance is no longer needed, and for the programs that have concluded. Sometimes we take it by looking at the budget book as if the programs have been cut down just because there is no money. Sometimes the programs have concluded. That's why the reductions are shown in the budget book. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite hard times, the Ministry of Housing and Community Development has been allocated $13.4 million to provide housing support to low and middle income earners. Ministry has introduced a number of innovative measures such as engaging with non-government organizations, multilateral financial institutions, development partners, and the private sector to deliver a breadth of projects using different financial modalities. Mr. Speaker, sir, our first home owner grant will continue despite these challenging times. This budget takes a bold step responding to the current market conditions with an increase in assistance up to $30,000 per household. In response to the Honorable Bulitavo's comment on the first home grant, where he said only 100 to 150 applicants will benefit, and the last time it was announced, it was a great failure. I don't know how he assessed the failure. People waited in frustration given the approvals and requirements, and also now people say it's just whom you know that gets the chance first. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that this program started in 2014. Ministry of Housing and Community Development is working in partnership with all financial institutions. If anyone who wants to apply for a first home grant under this program, they have to put in the application to the financial institution. The intent of this program is to provide this grant as a deposit to the first home, or to either to build or to buy. So that is the intent. So I find this statement completely misleading. The program was introduced, as I said, and we have spent a total of $23.6 million in assistance to this household to date. And why are we working with financial institutions, Mr. Speaker, sir? When we work with the financial institutions, Ministry They reduce the cost of enforcement. All that is taken on board by the financial institution. And for your information, in 2019-2020, 15 applicants did not use their grant, and that money was reimbursed by the banks back to Ministry of Housing. So this is how we check and ensure that the grants are utilized properly. Again, I want to correct Honorable Bulitavo, Mr. Speaker, sir. Unfortunately, he just says things and again he moves out of the room and is not here to listen to what we all have to say about some of the statements he had made. And in fact, when he made that statement, he made it with confidence and he misled the House that one has to withdraw funds from general account of FNPF to buy or build a home. This is not correct, Mr. Speaker, sir. General account can be accessed for education, medical, funeral, and unemployment, whereas preserved account is for house and land. How many people will benefit? That's the question he asked. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are various programs for different needs. And this program is not the only program to assist first home owners. Our calculations show a total of 432 households will be assisted in 2021 budget, with a total of 6 million allocated for first home, first land grant in different categories. In 2019-2020, a total of 543 applicants benefited from these grant programs. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am pleased to note that the social housing program is not affected in the 2020-2021 budget. The assistance for people with special need will also continue under the direct supervision of the Ministry. This program was initially implemented by Habitat for Humanity Fiji. Given the need for this assistance to be accessible to the larger community, this program has been restructured under a new cost model. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the 2019-2020 financial year, the budget allocation for the informal settlement upgrade program was used to complete the works of 3 informal settlements, which are Waindamundamu, Duvu, and Lendrusasa. 183 households in Duvu and Lendrusasa will receive 99-year leases this year, and 270 families in Waindamundamu will receive their lease titles early next year. The total investment in the upgrading of these 3 settlements is in excess of $12 million. Mr. Speaker, sir, preparatory work for 5 more settlements, Wakanisila, Sakoda, Tavela, Torre, 4 are nearly complete and will be ready for the commencement of civil works in this financial year. This will benefit 588 households. With the recent launch of Ministry's new website and its social media platforms, Fijians can access services digitally. Information on all assistance programs, application forms, related legislation, and publications are now available to all Fijians. This also includes access to the free download of a 2-bedroom, Category 4, cyclone-certified timber house, together with the list of materials required to build it. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry will also be developing a 3-bedroom house plan that meets all planning requirements so that people don't have to spend money to pay professionals or wait for approvals of plans. These services will add immense value for our low to middle income earners and encourage them to start construction. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Ministry will complete the review of the National Housing Policy in the new financial year. This will outline strategies, direction, and new mechanisms to meet the increasing demand for affordable housing and strengthen the legal framework across the housing spectrum. Mr. Speaker, sir, now let me turn to certain budget critics who have been harping about tariff restructure that in their view will not assist the vulnerable group. Comments such as, why chocolates, jams, cabbage, eggplant, tomatoes, or salmon? Who will buy diamonds or luxury vehicles? Who will buy white goods, or white goods are not commonly used in our village, in our koros, in informal settlements? Mr. Speaker, sir, low-income earners are assisted directly and indirectly. Direct assistance is through social welfare and other social programs in different ministries such as social housing and other forms of social wages. Mr. Speaker, sir, when budget is crafted, It considers all areas of the economy, all types of businesses, all economic activity, and all forms of consumption and production in the country. So yes, in addition to the attention this budget pays to the low and middle income Fijians, it also encourages people who can afford to buy luxury goods to do so, and to pay the taxes on those goods, and to help employ people in jewelry shops and appliance stores and car showrooms, and to circulate that money through the economy. We want the government to collect taxes needed for capital projects such as mini market, roads and bridges, to support unemployed and underemployed members of the community, and to continue providing social wages to our people. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Buli Tabu's comment cannot go unchallenged, particularly his comments that 1,600 white goods that are our imports, and he further said that these are not consumed or used by people in the rural areas. I really don't know whose house he visited, Mr. Speaker, sir, that he was not able to see the white goods in some of these informal settlements and corros. One has to pick up the 2011 hire purchase report that clearly states that white good industry for consumers is around 60 million every year, and around 81,125 people bought white goods in 2011, where 70% of this household earned less than 20,000, when the personal income tax at that time was 16,000. Now more people can access white goods because the income threshold increased to 30,000 in 2017, improving the purchasing power. Regarding duty reduction, the intent of this exercise was to remove subjective decision-making and bureaucratic red tape, and to make these items affordable to consumers and businesses. I don't know why we have got this idea that duty reduction is only for one group of people. It is also for businesses, as explained by Honorable Koya. So this is various ways of just making our economy work in many different forms. Mr. Speaker, sir, every economy is in the survival mode, and building in recovery measures into the budget is the way to go. The government has introduced measures that will assist in retaining the jobs we have, creating the jobs we need, and revitalizing the economy in all sectors. The budget has received resounding support from people from across all sectors. Mr. Speaker, sir, I support the budget for 2020-2021 as presented by the Minister for Economy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.